Mask of the Pharaoh. On Board Game Geek, it also appears under the name Mask of Anubis. This is a board game that combines analog gaming with virtual reality. And it is virtual reality that you can afford. It's a virtual reality game that I think I spent like $15, $16 to get. And if you're wondering how is that possible, well, I'm gonna show you that. You have several components here. You have tiles of a temple or pyramid that you're trying to reconstruct. The game has several levels, so each is pretty much like a puzzle. A player will look in the virtual reality visor, and I'll show you that later, and describing what they see. As the player is talking, the other players, and there's a cooperative game, the other players are using these tasks to try to reconstruct what the player with the visor is describing. The player says, okay, we are in a corner. Okay, we take the corner piece. And there is a grass right, or flower right in the corner, in the middle of the corner. Fine. Then there is a hallway that moves from the corner, and there is a painting there. Each time, the player with the visor will see a section of the pyramid. When the time is over, or when the players are satisfied that they have good enough an understanding, then that player's turn is over and you pass the visor to the next player, which will then do the same thing. We'll look into the visor, look at another section, and now the other players are trying to collect that, to build that. And so after a while, you will have several sections of the pyramid, and when you have several of these sections, you look at them and you're looking for similarities. You're trying to see if some of these things that have been looked at by several players sequentially actually representing the same thing. I noticed, for example, there's a straight piece of hallway here that resembles, actually, no, let me use a different piece. Oh, okay. There is a straight piece of hallway here that is just exactly like that one. What if they are indeed the same? That a player has looked at from this direction, that a player from that direction. Okay, we'll make that guess, and we'll say that these two are in fact the same ones. So we connect these two pieces, and this is how after a while you're trying to put together all of these pieces in a single map. The idea is that the passage is too narrow for you a human to go through, and you are creating a path for this piece representing a dog to move through the pyramid and reach the treasure chamber. If you're able to create that path by putting together all the things that people have seen and described, then you win the game, and cooperatively everybody wins, otherwise you lose the game. So this is the general idea. Player looks and describes, and the players are building the map, and then you put together a piece of the map. But again, virtual reality for $15, $16, how is that possible? Well, let's take a look at the visor. The visor is this gimmicky, yes, but thematic and somewhat cute-looking mask. You feel a little bit like an ancient god when you're wearing it. It's made of cardboard. You assemble it by putting several pieces of folded cardboard together. My complaint is that after you build it, you won't be able to put it back in the box. It's just too big. Even if you pull the ears out, you still won't be able to put it there, so you kind of have to take it apart almost entirely. Pretty much only this part here, the main bulk, you can keep in one piece. And that's a little bit annoying. You have to do a little bit of puzzle every time that you play the game, but not a big deal. But it is a piece of cardboard without any virtual reality attached to it, because that is provided by your faithful smartphone. There is an app that you download for free, and this is the app of the game. You enter the maze. You can use the settings to decide how long you want each segment to show. And when I do with my daughters that are 5 and 7, we just do this one, which in 3 minutes you have time to, pretty much is like no time, meaning you have as much time as you want. In 3 minutes you always have enough time to describe what you see. If you want a bigger challenge, then you will use a setting that will make each segment of the temple visible for less time, but let's do it this way. Then you see you have 24 possible levels, these 24 maps to reconstruct. Let's say level 8. Now we say play, and we insert our phone inside this slot here in the mask. And now, ta-da, the mask has turned into a veritable and very effective virtual reality visor. Now, what are we gonna do to start the game? You look up with the visor, and now we're starting. Now we're inside the temple. What I'm doing now, I'm taking the visor and putting right in front of the camera, so you see exactly what you would be seeing if you were wearing the visor. And so we look at that, what the visor is showing us, and we describe it to our friends. And as you can see, I'm moving the camera around. As you move, the image moves accordingly, taking that into account. Usually the player with the visor will want to stand up, so that he or she can turn around and say, okay, this direction, there is a wall, this is like the end of a hallway, and I see a painting there. This other direction, I see a sarcophagus, and let's turn all the way. This other thing. Oh, here it is. Here's the dog. Okay, the dog is facing the sarcophagus. He's right in front, right opposite to the sarcophagus, at the end of a hallway. It's like a dead end. So then, if the dog moves by the sarcophagus and the dog turns left, spins, sort of like pivots to the left, this is what he sees, and da. And so you describe what you see until either the time runs out, or you, the person that describes, and the people that are following your instructions are satisfied with that at the point that player's turn is over. And again, you give the visor to the next player that will see another section of the pyramid, and so on and so forth. And this is in essence the game. Virtual reality on the cheap, but very effective. Very effective, I have to tell you. This is a very pleasant and very fun game. I played it with my daughters. You can imagine how clear my 5-year-old daughter was. That was ironic. It was a mess. But my daughters were having a blast and a half. Although we were losing constantly, there was just so much laughter seeing the little one jumping around and pointing at invisible places in the air. Say, it's there, look at that. What is there, Luisa? The thing. Oh, thank you, Luisa. Can you be a little clearer? That thing. Okay, thank you. It was just fun. I would almost say, as a toy, almost, this is just fun. Even, again, if you just give this to a kid, they're gonna have fun with that. But of course, we're talking about a game, and so is the game good also? What is the value as a game? It is a good, fun, entertaining game. Deep? No. Strategy? Sorta, kinda. Like many games that are based on communication, what you have is the games are punishingly difficult at the beginning, as the players don't know the game and don't know each other. At least they haven't developed a common language, a common code. And then as the players play with one another, especially if it's always the same players, they start developing a code. They start developing a team spirit. And so they know exactly what they mean when they say this or that thing. And then the game becomes, I wouldn't say automatic, but very easy, much easier, very efficient. So it's not about strategy, really. It is about developing that team spirit, developing that mutual understanding. So it's not really about strategy. It is about interaction. But in that sense, as a cooperative game about interaction, this is like perfect. Because no alpha player, it's really about, I need to be able to work with you on your own terms. We need to figure out a way to work together. I can't just tell you what to do. Yes, I'm the alpha player and I can tell you, turn this way, tell me what you see that way. But ultimately, if the player with the visor is not involved, is not paying attention, then the game doesn't work, or at least it works, but you're going to lose it. It's not like in Pandemic where you can definitely have an alpha player that tells everybody what to do, and the other players may be inexperienced and they're just following along. So it is a game that keeps everybody engaged. The fact that it is timed, of course, creates a real sense of excitement, a real countdown. again, even when we put it at the maximum timer, because I play with my daughters, it's still fun. It still has the sense of like, oh my gosh, we don't have much time. By the way, I know we have enough time, but I still say that to my daughters, so I see them like bouncing around all excited and they have more fun. It's a simple, light family game. I don't know that I would play with adults only. I guess it could work as a very, very light family game. I see mainly as an intergenerational family game, in the sense like something that adults play with kids and you're gonna have a good time. It is entertaining. It is not deep, but it's fun, and I would say that's pretty good. I don't see any problem with that. It's also very affordable. I don't think you're gonna have a chance of playing many virtual reality games in such an affordable price bracket. So, Mask of the Pharaoh, not very deep, but definitely fun, entertaining, and it is a little bit gimmicky, yes, but it is a gimmick that comes with 24 gimmicky puzzles that actually do increase in complexity and challenge. So if it is a gimmick, it's one that you can have a lot of fun with before let's say the gimmick wears out. Mask of the Pharaoh, fun family game.